Hi guys, I'm Kevin.
Hi there, I'm Kelly.
We know that we're running a little bit late, so we'll try to go through this quickly. But my name's Kevin. I'm the marketing manager on consumer surveys, and this is Kelly.
I'm Kelly. I run the sales team here at Google Consumer Surveys.
Great. I've never used a clicker like this. How many of you have heard of consumer surveys? I actually can't see you. A lot of people. Better question. How many people have used it? Okay, great. So about 1/4 of the room has used it. For those of you that haven't, we'll walk you through what it is, why we think it's great. First, we'll start out with a survey that we ran. It's simple, but we think it's really interesting. So we ran a survey in 9 different markets and asked how many users. You can tell I don't do this often because I'm looking up there instead of down here. Wait, no, it's up there. We ran a survey in 9 different markets with 1,000 respondents and asked the users, have you logged into a social network in the past month? The number I want you to pay attention to is Brazil because it's really high. But what you'll see on the next slide is that they're actually on the bottom of the pack when we asked those same users a question around their likelihood to purchase something online. So why is this interesting to you, or why does it matter? We assume market research informs your export strategy, and when you're looking at which markets make the most sense to invest in at the onset, it looks like there's a lot of low-hanging fruit before you get to Brazil, Japan, or Spain, or at the bottom, Mexico. So what is Google Consumer Surveys? It's a product for about half of you who said you don't know what it is. It's a product that we built on 3 Google core principles. One is that fast is always better than slow. Second is that you should follow what the user wants and everything else will follow. And then lastly, that the need for information crosses all borders. So the first thing, we need to make sure that you get data quickly. So I'm sure, have you guys had issues getting data quickly or affordably? Raise your hands. Yes, so that's a problem that we think we solve. Second is that you should focus on the user and everything else will follow. That's easy for us to say because we sit on a lot of data. We also have a lot of resources. We think our product allows everyone to have an ability to reach out to your users, find out what they need, what they like, and Kelly's going to talk about that in a second, and iterate your product accordingly. And then lastly, the need for information crosses all borders. Well, that's difficult when market research is super expensive. And also if you're looking at markets like Indonesia, or we're going to diversify into, I think, 15 new markets, it gets very, very expensive. So we answer all those questions for you. So what is it? You know that, but how do we do it? So you can use 10 different questions, 14 new question types, and get out to the markets very quickly. Responses come back in 2 to 3 days, and you can get your data to your teams very quickly to iterate accordingly. Pass it over to Kelly.
Cool. Okay, so how are companies actually using our product? This is actually just showing you a snapshot of some of the most common use cases, but want to touch on a few more specifically. Concept and product development. We actually work with one of the largest snacking companies in the world, with some of the largest brands in the world, and they're actually currently using us because they're launching a new product. So they're using our product in several different markets to find their key consumer and find out those consumers' snacking behaviors, what type of ingredients they like, what type of packaging they like, do they like the product name. So they're literally using our product from start to finish to launch this new snack, and it's set to be a $5 billion product in 5 years. So that's one way a brand's using us. Market trends, we work with dozens of market research companies, and we were actually working with one specifically, Kantar. They wanted to test why people wear electronic devices. More specifically, they wanted to test consumers and millennials in Germany. So they actually used our campaign measurement. So this is a really, really big one. We've seen a lot of companies actually use us post-Super Bowl. Obviously, brands are spending millions of dollars on ads, and they want to test how effective they were. So post-Super Bowl, they'll reach out to consumers, ask them, did they watch the Super Bowl? Ask them if they saw the specific ad that they ran, and then figure out the brand sentiment after to see if there was lift in brand. And then actually another one to touch on really quickly is marketing design. We actually use this for our own product. So when we were launching our mobile device, we reached out to our panel to ask them questions on copy. So when we went into post editing, we were going in the right direction. Okay, how do we actually find these consumers? So there's 2 different ways. One is on our publisher network. So it's similar to a paywall. You guys know when you hit Wall Street Journal and you want to read an article and you have to share it on social media, you have to pay for it. Instead, we give an alternative action. So you're asked to answer a survey question, and when you do, content is unlocked. We see 10 to 50 million unique users per week on these publisher sites, so our reach is really high. And then the other way is Google Opinion Rewards, which is it's an application that you download. It's the largest mobile panel in the world. Actually, we have close to 6 million people on it now. When you download that application, actually, if you have an Android device and you haven't downloaded it, I highly recommend that you do, because when you do, you'll get surveys in your account. When you answer survey questions, you get free money for music and movies and things for Google Play. So really dynamic reach. We're committed to going global. So currently you can see we're in 12 different markets. We do want to be the resource for you when you want to go into a new market and ask any consumer in any market a question. We want to be there for you to do that. So as Kevin said too, we're expanding in 15 different or new ones later this year. And our hope is that we will be able to show you new insights in new markets you're looking to go into. Then this is just a quick overview of our interface. So it's a 3-step process to get a survey up and going. You write your survey questions, you use there's 14 different templates we have available. And then once you put a survey in field, within usually a couple of hours, you'll get access to this live dashboard and it'll start showing you live results. And you can see here, you can slice and dice the data within the interface. So if you wanted to compare how people answered a question based on gender or location, you can. You can also export the information and do it yourself. We know some people like to do that. So
we're going to quickly show you this video because we have about a minute left.
This is an internal case study. Okay. Is it just going to play?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
The people that come to work here care about their job quite a bit. It's inspiring to be in that environment, and it's a very high level of talent. My name is Alex Bain. I'm a marketing analytics manager at Nest. At Nest, we're reinventing unloved products in the home. We are really focused on delivering a superior customer experience. We do that by trying to understand how people interact with the products in their home. Google consumer surveys allow us to extend that focus on people. In the absence of data, it's really easy for everyone to draw on their personal experience, and you don't know if that's really representative or not. Whereas if you can ask 2,000 people what their experience is like and aggregate that, you can really understand what is the answer to an important business question. Within marketing, we run surveys to understand what is our brand awareness. If we're designing a product and we want to make sure that it's going to fit in the right place in the home, we can run surveys to ask, how high is your ceiling? We ran a survey, for example, to understand, do couples fight over the temperature in the house? And we wanted to understand, are our products in the middle of those disputes? It turns out that it's not actually that common to fight over the temperature in the house, and so it was helpful for us to know that that's not really a concern. When I tried Google consumer surveys, I realized how simple it was. By checking a few boxes, you can target the survey, you can have pictures, you can ask for ratings. Within a couple days, the responses have all come back to you and they're weighted appropriately to be representative. It couldn't be easier. I went from being sort of intimidated by surveys in general to trying this product and realizing how simple it was, to then running around the company and in any meeting I was in saying, do you guys understand that we could introduce surveys to this debate and it would just resolve the whole thing?
So as you can see, he really loves us. But
I disagree really quick on the temperature because I joke Kevin's my work husband and we sit by each other. He always wants the window open and I always want it closed. We fight every day about it. Anyways.
We don't fight, but yeah, she gets a little frustrated. Yeah, true. So I'm really thrown off right now. But we do also have some really great video case studies coming out in the next month. We're finishing one with Expedia, so that might be relevant to some of you. We also have another with BuzzFeed. Not sure if that's super relevant to you, but also interesting. And then ideally Lowe's as well. So across a few different types of industries, and hopefully maybe you guys would want to see those. In terms of next steps, if you are interested, we'd love for you to reach out, gcsprojects@google.com. There's a lot more that we can do. We have already hit time, so we won't bother you with that. But there's a lot of really, really great research we can do quickly, affordably, and accurately for you. So hopefully you reach out to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.